still eating breakfast at 1:45. You guys want to talk about money management? Well, I'm eating oatmeal. So, money management definition is money management is a process of expenses, tracking investments, budgeting, banking, evaluating taxes of one's money, which is also an investment management. Money management is statistic technique to manage money, yield the highest interest output value of any amount spent. All right, so I'm just going to go through some basics while I'm here. If nobody comes on, then I'm a dip. But let's get into some. Let's just get into some. We're going to take the up-and-coming stimulus check. We're going to talk about how we can take $1,400 and by the end of the year, we can add on, or within a year's time, so a year to date, we can make $1,400 work for us instead of us working for $1,400. Right? Now there's a few different ways we can do that. We can do it passively or we can do it aggressively. Alright? So let's just take passively. Passively, we can put it into a savings account. Our savings account is going to yield us 0.01%. It's not a lot of return. It's terrible. We can throw it into a CD. CD is going to yield us 0.01%. All right, it's terrible. We can throw it into a CD for a particular amount of time, and it'll yield us maybe 2 or 3% more. So we take $1,400, we throw it into a CD that yields us 4%. It's going to get us $56 by the end of the year. And every year that it's in there, it's going to get us $56 plus the interest on it, which is going to be $2.26 or whatever it's going to be. That's what it's going to be every year. At the end of the 4-year term that they're asking for, or the 47 months, which is 1 year short. I went over some of this in my other video. You're going to be looking at 200, I don't know, $20 or so. Maximally less than that. Well, somewhere around there. So there's your 4%. So at the end of the year, you got $200 out of it. $200 plus. Not a terrible idea. At the end of 4 years. It's not terrible. Okay, you're on the way to doing something. So that's passive. Then you want to get into a more aggressive, but still passive. You want to look at the stock market. You can be active in the stock market, as in you going and picking stocks, or you can have somebody pick the stocks for you. You can get a mutual fund. So still passive but aggressive. There's 2 different types of mutual funds. One is more aggressive than the other. You want to get a mutual fund that's more aggressive, you're taking more of a risk, meaning it's going to yield you more if the stock market's doing good, but if it's not, you're taking a risk of a loss. Everything that you do when it comes to the bank is taking a risk of a loss. It's just how much risk are you willing to take? Now, if you're using your stimulus check and you do not need the stimulus check for anything immediate, you already have savings, you already have, your basic expenses covered, then you can take the stimulus check and actually put it somewhere where it's making money for you instead of just sitting in a savings account where it's barely making any money at all. In other words, you can take some risk. Now, some of you can take more risk than others. Some of you can take the whole thing and put it into an aggressive mutual fund and say, hey, I want to see what it did. Others are going to say, you know what? I'm going to go with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is pretty much, there are 500 companies that are inside a mutual fund, and you're pretty much betting that those 500 companies are going to do very well in the stock market. However, lately, those companies, the S&P fluctuates. That's the whole thing. So you can take your chance at a less aggressive mutual fund, which is pretty much the S&P to me, or you can put it into a different kind of mutual fund, and say, I want to choose the companies that the mutual fund allows me to choose. In other words, you can make up your own portfolio. So if you're someone who's a novice and you don't want to take too much of a chance, but you at least want to try to get 13% or more at the end of each year, you're like, you know what? Let me call up a firm and a mutual firm and say, hey, here's $1,400, and go ahead and put all of this money inside a mutual fund for the S&P, meaning every company that's already in there in the S&P, that's what you're going with. You're just like, screw it, I'm cool with that. And that's what you do. Take it in there, you put it in there, on average, it makes 13%. You're like 13% each year. I don't know what 13% of 1,400 is, but 13% of 1,000 is $130. 13% of $400, I'm not sure. Let me see this. Times 4, so 13, 26. 26 times 2, 52. So 52 bucks. I think. I don't know. It's 13%. Let me look at it. Let me look this up, because I'm not good at math. 13% of 182. So what did I say? I said I said 130, and then I said, what did I say? I said 130, and then I said 50. Okay, so I was correct. So I just broke it down. I took 1,000, took 13% of that, which is 130, and then I took 13% of 400, which is 52, and it came up to the same thing, which is 180. All right, so you have $180 in 1 year. That's if you go with the S&P, and it averages out at 13%. Now, if you look at what you would have got from a CD, which is 4%, you would have got $56. The S&P on average, you're going to make $182. But like I said, it's more risk. If you go with more aggressive mutual funds, you could probably make more than that. And a lot of people do, but these are people who don't mind playing with a little bit of money. And so they're living off the dividends. So they have thousands and thousands of dollars inside some kind of mutual fund, and that mutual fund is paying them dividends at the end of the year or every month, and they're taking that as dividends, and that's what they're paying their mortgages with. All right. Now, there's a danger in that, because if the stock market crashes, then all your money is pretty much kaput. But if you take this money, make this money, if you take that money and you put everything in on the stock market, okay, that's one way you're doing it. At first, you can take the $1,400, put it into the stock market, boom, and then take the dividends that you make each year and save it. Now, once again, if you take the dividends, now you can say, okay, I made almost $200 each year. I'm just going to take that, roll that into a savings account. I'm cool. Or you can take that $182 and add it to your $1,400 which is 1582, and then hopefully make another 13% off of that. So here you go again, 182, and then you got your percentage on what you make on that. So each year, you're making, if the average is 13, you're doing 182 bucks each year, plus whatever your interest is. I don't know what it's going to be. And then boom, and then you have whoever it is that's managing your mutual fund, they're going to take 1.8% off of whatever you make. So you get off of your dividend. So you get 182 minus your 1.8, and that's actually what you're going to get in your as for a dividend. But if you in 1 year, if you wait 1 year and you take those dividends and you put it into a savings account, you're also going to lose 20% in taxes. If you wait 1 year and a day, you're only going to lose 15% in taxes. So there is your cost. You're going to lose 15% in perpetuity, regardless of how long it is. If it's a year and over, it's 15%. If it's less than a year, it's 20%. And you're going to lose 1.8, or depending on who it is you go with. And they're going to take that, and that is part of their cost. Depends on the company. The company can use front load, which is you're going to pay a certain amount for them to manage it at front. So you might lose 50, 60 bucks. They may say, give me, if it's $1,000, they may say, we want 5% of that up front. So they want 50 bucks. If it's 1,400 bucks, it's like 55 bucks. And you're just like, so what? Well, the point is your first dividend. And this is not every year, it's just for the first time. So the point is that your dividend has just got knocked down from 182 minus 50, then minus, and then also on top of that, minus your 1.8, also on top of that, minus your 15%. So there's a lot of minuses going on in your first dividend. It's just going to get eaten up if you take it out. Even if you don't take it out, you're still going to be minus the 1.8. So you're just not going to make much on your first year round. But okay, you're just like, it is what it is. I wanted to sit there for 5 years. Let's just say you're like, let it go for 5 years, see what it does. You're using it as some type of, college fund. Say you got a newborn. You got a new little girl, and boom, she's 1. You're like, you know what? Stimulus check, S&P, boom, there it is. I'm going to use that, start your college fund. That's not a bad idea. That's not a terrible idea whatsoever. Because she pretty much has, 18 years before she hits college? That mutual fund is going to do something in 18 years, hoping that the stock market does not crash or has a hiccup like it did in 2008. All right? So there that is. You guys can go ahead and do that. And I know some of you have children. And you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. You can take a stimulus check, throw it in S&P, and you can get, a half decent return after 10 years. You can also take it to a company that doesn't ask you for money up front. All right? Those companies are out there. There's a lot of them. You can go with that company and do the same thing, put an S&P, or you can tell them to put it in more of a preferred mutual fund. That mutual fund is going to be what you choose. If you're into tech companies, if you're into healthcare, if it just, it all depends on what it is. You take a look around, you're looking around the stocks, you see some things that you want to invest in, and you're just like, I want to put this in my portfolio. You find out whatever ticker number that, or ticker acronym that it is. You call your banker or the people who are controlling your mutual fund, and you say, boom, put this in to my mutual fund. And they go ahead and put it in the mutual fund. Now, these are companies that are already established on the stock market. So these are not private companies, all right? These are companies that people are investing in. You can buy shares of these companies. So you want to go ahead and do that. Or you say, screw that, I'm not having anybody do, whatever with my money. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go ahead and buy stocks. Well, there's all kind of ways of buying stocks. You can go ahead and get on out there and buy them yourself. And I'm being very, I'm skipping over a lot because there's so much when it comes to this, and I'm a novice at this. I don't know a lot about stocks, but I'm now learning, and I'm just telling you what I'm learning. So you can go ahead and pick your stocks yourself, and you can do that. Also, some of the best places to go for a higher CD rate, if you still want to go the CD route, where you can get between 4 to 7%, depending on how long it is, 47 months. But the best places to go for a good rate on a CD is the credit union. So call up a credit union and ask them how much is a certificate of deposit. What's the best rate on a certificate of deposit? So let's go ahead and look up a credit union. Stop this music here. Let's go ahead and look up a credit union. Let's just look up best CD rates. CD rates. With the highest interest. CD money rates with the highest interest. Okay, so one of them is Ponce Bank. I've already called Ponce Bank. I'm not doing it. It's a very small operation, and I'm just not doing it. Ponce Bank offers 4.5% for 5 months. The amount that you have to put in is at least $1. So there you go. Type of CD, the monthly rate is 0. The compound is daily. So it compounds daily. So there you go. You guys want to take a chance? Call up one of these banks and say, hey, I'm gonna put $700 into a CD for the next 5 months. You know what I'm saying? There that is. Now you'll be punished if you take it out, meaning they're going to take some money from you if you take it out, but nonetheless, that money is still yours. Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Now, what I found out is that these companies, what they are is there are subsidiaries of these companies. So you're not actually dealing with Goldman Sachs. You're dealing with a company that's attached to it. So theirs is 5.5%. The term rate is 1 year. So if you got $700-800, or you want to take the whole stimmy and throw it into something for a whole year, it will cost you at least $500 to get that rate. So that is the minimum deposit. So you take your $500 or whatever, and you go ahead and throw it into a CD, and it compounds daily. There's no monthly fee, and you're going to get 55% on that. Ponce Bank also has another deal for a CD where it's 0.6%. But that is for 13 months. So the longer you keep the money in these banks, the more money you can get out of them, basically. So for 13 months, the least amount you have to put in is $1. No monthly fee, and it compounds daily. So you'll be seeing the dividends is basically, and yeah, there that is. Ponce Bank also has another deal for CD, which is 7%, but it is at 4 years. The amount put in is $1. So this is 4 years. If you take it out within 4 years, you're going to get financially punished. Compounds daily. Marcus by Goldman Sachs also has another deal, which is for CD, which is 0.6%, and it is for 5 years. The minimum amount to put in is $500. So there's that. Interested in more flexibility, consider these. Marcus, 0.5%. No monthly financial fee, and it does not compound daily according to what this says. Citibank, 0.5%. Minimum amount you have to put in is zero. Ponce Bank, 25% minimum amount is $1. And yeah, so these are all CDs that you guys can take your $1,400 and you can dump them into any of these CDs, and some at little to no cost. But the more you put in, the more you get out. But if you guys don't want to, take the whole 14 and put it in, you can go with Goldman Sachs. You have to have at least 500 to go with Ponce or Citibank. You can just have $1. So you can throw $1 in there and see what's going to happen. If you want to take that chance, I say throw, $100 at it, you know, till you get your feet wet and look it over. You're going to start getting dividends off of that. So you just look at what's going on till you get an understanding of it. It's all going to be right there in front of you. You get a good understanding of it, and you say, okay, I'm getting my feet wet here, and you're gonna get your 5% or your 6% off of your $100, which is what is that? 50 cent? Yeah, $5. 5%, $5. So you're gonna get your $5, and in some cases, 7%. So you're gonna get $7 off of that in a year's time if it's $100. So you see where that's going. And yeah, yeah, $7. So you say 214 bucks in a year. Okay, you see what that is, and I don't know, any increments of administrative cost that's coming out, but there's always one. So you're gonna be looking at that, and so on and so forth. So yeah, 321 bucks. Yada 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 minus your fees. And that's after a year, 400, and the beat goes on and on and on. So there you go. So there's some listings of banks that you can call up and actually go and get a certificate of deposit when you get your stimulus check or now. And those are the rates, and those are the time constraints on the rates. Some would go all the way up to 5 years. So there's that. Now, I am going to go ahead and look up stocks. So let's do that. No, I'm going to look up trading futures. No, I don't know anything about trading futures. I'm going to look up mutual funds. First, I'm going to look up the definition of a mutual fund. The definition of a mutual fund is an open-end, professionally managed investment fund that pools money from many investors to purchase securities. Security being an operative word. Mutual funds are the largest portion of equity of the United States. Okay, of the United States corporation. Mutual fund investors may be retail or institutional in nature. Okay, so mutual funds, they're all kind of people who can manage your mutual fund. Charles Schwab, I think Morgan Stanley. But so let's go. Already covered mutual fund. The one thing that I did not cover, and I'm still going to stay with mutual funds. But the one thing that I did not cover in the last conversation about money management was I didn't cover the IRAs. And there are two different types of IRAs that you can get, but the IRAs, a lot of them depend on how much money you actually make, because you have to do your taxes at the end of the year and see what you're actually available to put into your early retirement fund. And there's also a huge difference in what kind of IRA that you want. There's a Roth IRA and there's a regular IRA. The Roth IRA, you pay taxes in the beginning, I believe. Uh, yeah, you pay taxes in the beginning, you don't pay taxes in the end. The other IRA, they kind of get you coming and going. So yeah, so yeah, and then there's an age, how old you are, depending on how much you can put into an IRA. So if you're 50 years old, you can put so much into a Rothi, and there's all kind of rules and bells and whistles that go with IRAs that I am not comfortable regurgitating. But I encourage you guys to go ahead and find out about them because it's important that you know of everything that's available to you when it comes to the flip game, when it comes to saving, when it comes to living off of the money that you make, when it comes to you making money uh, off of the money you're making. I mean, when your money is making money for you, then you can start living a lot more comfortable. And I am not telling you to take your whole savings and put it into anything. That is not what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. Have yourself some money on hand. Have yourself some money at home. You know what I'm saying? Because everything falls down, you don't want to be flat broke. You know what I'm saying? Have yourself a couple dollars at the crib. Get yourself a piggy bank. Shoot, I got one right here. Okay, I got some quarter, nickel dime, honey. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing with nobody. So have yourself a couple quarter, nickels, dimes at home. At least enough to feed your family for a week. At least enough to put gas in your car. At least enough to pay all your bills. You should have that money somewhere where you can access it very, very easily. All your bills for at least a month should be covered, uh, and that's the amount. This is just me. Whatever bill whatever fixed cost that you have, because the internet is important, but you can look at the internet on your phone. So if the internet goes out, that bill goes out. It's like boom, okay, boom. There's no internet. But lights, gas, water, those things, the essentials, yeah, we don't want those to be anywhere. We have already seen what happens when those things disappear. And things like cable and stuff, not so much important. You can watch the news on your phone, so on and so forth. So yeah, but your basic fixed costs, your needs, your Maslow hierarchy of needs, you got to look that up. But your needs, your shelter, your food, things like that, you should have enough money to cover those for at least a month. I'm gonna say 3 months, but for at least 1 month, you should be able to cover everything. So whatever that amount is, if your rent is $1,000, and your bills come up to another $500. That's taking care of all your necessities. That's food and everything. And or your food costs you another $200. Say everything costs you $2,500 just to keep you and the family stable for a month. Then there should be $2,500 that you can access easily. Now the reason why I'm saying that is, for one, the banks, when the streets are closed, you can't get to the bank. You can go online and do your little finagling, but you can't get cash. Okay? And we've seen recently how nature has closed the streets and how man has closed the streets, all within 1 year. we've we've seen how we could get cut off from everybody else really, really quick. Okay, so let's not act like things can't happen to us because we are the we who we are. No, it can happen to anyone. You can get left, you can get trapped, you can get singled out. It can happen to you. So don't live in delusion. Like, be aware. So if your bills come to $2,500, have $2,500 where you can access $2,500 easy so you can keep things going on. Now, as far as the bank is concerned, it wouldn't hurt to have that much or at least twice that much in the bank This is if you're a savings person and if you have this kind of money. I say there should be 3 times the amount. Yes, yes. I say there should be 3 times the amount. If you can, this is people, if you can. This is not me trying to be braggadocio or saying that you're broke. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying these are goals to reach. If you can't reach them, or if you can reach them, if you're a working person and you have $50, hey Tone, you think LeBron's gonna win the season? Bro, I couldn't even tell you. I didn't focus on that, but I think he was right talking about the getting a shot in your arm and saying how he didn't want to do it. And then Stephen A. Smith said, I think we should do it. So I'm going with LeBron on that one. But probably he'll probably win. I don't see why not. And the last one he'll win. He'll go back to Cleveland and win. So anyway, so I don't want to get off track of this money management. So yeah, so if you can get 3 times the amount of whatever your fixed cost is, whatever your necessity is, 3 times that much should be in your bank account. That's if you can. This is a goal for you to work to. This is not, like I said, this is something you can work yourself up to 3 times. And I'm saying this because we have seen some really trippy things happen to us recently where we have been cut off and there has been a amount of uncertainty has befallen us. There's ice storms that happened in Texas, snowstorms in Texas. Like, wait, what? A snowstorm in Texas? Those people were cut off. Okay, their heat was gone. Listen. People died. Even a guy I knew died. He was a homeless man. I didn't even know he was homeless. The happiest dude you ever seen in your life, dancing all the time, died. Dead. They found him dead. He froze to death right here. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Another thing is, okay, so yeah, whatever your fixed cost is, so if your fixed cost is $1,500 a month, then go ahead and work your way up to putting 3 times that much into a bank account. All right? That's 3,004. That's $4,500. This is a goal. I know, but it's a goal. But we're in times of tribulations right now, and there's going to be great famine and famine. Yeah, there's going to be more of that. So I'm telling you to save your pennies. I'm telling you to keep a stash at the crib. Don't put everything into the banks because the bank don't love you. We realize this over and over again where black people are going to... One lady recently went to withdraw her stimulus check. She took her stimulus check to the bank, cashed it, and then the next day she came and the same cashier, who cashed her government check said, went and got her money, a whole $1,000. This lady's like, okay, I want my $1,000 off my stimmy. The lady counted out the whole $1,000 and then told the black woman, I don't feel comfortable giving this to you. And she was like, wait, what? You saw me cash this, or you saw me deposit this into my bank. There's no problem with my account. What do you mean? She says, yeah, I know, but I don't feel comfortable giving this to you. And she did not give the money. And that was that. That teller was like, I don't want to give you your money. And didn't give it to this black woman. So the black woman went to another branch, which she should have had to do. She went to another branch and got her money. And then the branch and then she called up a bunch of folk, how we do. She called up her people and they sat outside and started protesting. And then the bank put out a statement, which was just a bunch of hogwash, when they should have said, we fired that woman. They didn't do that. They were like, we are, blah, blah, blah. We would never do this. And that's exactly what they did. A racist woman said, I don't feel like it. Listen, there was another case where a lady, she had either won a bunch of money or something like that. And she put it in a bank, let it do what it does, and it came for her money. And they closed her account and told her that her account is under investigation because they asked her how she got the money. And she was like, that's like, why is that your business? And they were just like, nope, we're not giving it to you. They did not give this woman her own money. They wouldn't give it to her. And they said it's under investigation, and under investigation can be for a long time. Also, Black Youngster, he went to the bank and took out $250,000. This woman gave him the money and then called the police on him. And the police came and had him outside, surrounded him, arrested this man, put him on the curb, and all the money in it. And then the police took some of his money. They took like $80,000 of his own money. And he's like, I'm going to call a lawyer and you guys are going to give me my money back. And they were just like, well, we're going to take your money down to they took half of his money just about and said, we're going to take it. No, they robbed him. The police literally robbed Black Youngster. And I don't know what happened with that case, but they robbed that man. Flat out. Came up like some gangsters, stopped him, put him in handcuffs, and he was like, look, that's my money. I'm a rapper. I got money like that. You can't. And they took his money. And it made him go through this whole ordeal but they was basically robbing him. Gotta boss up in the later days. Yeah. Relying on others will result in, oppression. Have your own roof over your head. Yeah. Your license and qualifications and sources, income. That's when you're good. Yeah, you know what? Another thing, I've been thinking about getting out of this apartment. I've been thinking about getting out of here, and what I really want to do, I wanted to buy a condo, but I want my own land. I don't know about buying a house. I'm getting old. My knees are not the greatest. I need something where I'm going to get some help with the upkeep, which is a condo. So I'm thinking about buying a condo. This way I ain't got to cut the grass. I can just live in an apartment and it's mine. I own it. Of course, you got to pay your fees and all that. That sucks. But you got to pay fees on anything. But if you're renting, the spot you're renting isn't yours. Like, I keep getting into it with this neighbor, and the landlord lady told me, she's like, if you say anything to him, we're kicking you out. I'm like, the guy has put marks on my car. She's like, I can't prove it. So I'm not going to do anything. I was like, I was hoping you could talk to him. She's like, we'll never go and talk to somebody just because you said something. I was like, what you mad at me for? This guy's messing with me. But so basically I got no help. She was like, if you don't have no proof, then leave him alone. Okay, but if I go smash his car up, you'll kick me out in a heartbeat. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have no choice but to move. But anyway, yeah. So I want to know what happened in that Black Youngster case because the police just robbed him. He got robbed by the police. New twist in the story of Memphis stopped outside. Atlanta Black young on social media saying that the police stopped him because he was young. They said it. Yeah, you just said something. Turn your good, fam. You got a roof over your head. Yeah, I do. Driver's license. Yep. Source of income. Yep. Right. Yeah. Driver's license. Boy, I protect that license, boy. Be on it. New story of Memphis driver stopped. So I'm just gonna read through some of this. Not allowed though. Just gonna scan through it. more. Rumors of wars and yep, wars and tribulation. In case last Friday. This is a long time ago. This happened in 2016. Let me see the call. Oh, they said he forged a check at Wells Fargo. Coincidentally, was outside of the bank where he says, "Withdraw money at Wells Fargo dispute." He did not enter our store, nor did he make any withdrawals," said Crystal Drake, Wells Fargo's. Yeah. When the police arrived, they detained a 25-year-old black youngster and everybody inside the vehicle. And his manager snapped a photo of the rapper on the ground. Police and handcuffed. It was quickly discovered that provided description of the police had provided the wrong description of the suspect. Okay, so they had the wrong description of the suspect. The rapper, his entourage were released. The same black man took to social media saying that police stopped him because he was black. And I went and got too much money out. Yeah, the rapper said in the video. Then he said that Then he said they thought that I robbed the bank, which he did not. But just saying, a collective music group. It's talking about it says police arrested and charged another man on the scene with forgery and first degree. The incident did not directly involve black rubber youngster, nor was he accused of committing a crime. Okay, but they did still take his money. I'm hoping that they gave it back to him, because the police will rob you. Anyways, so back to money marketing. I don't know where I was. Oh, I was talking about Roth IRAs. So yeah, so watch videos on Roth IRAs. But there's something to get into, especially if you're older like me, in your 50s. Then Roth IRAs can go ahead and help you. Let's see, we were at mutual funds, weren't we? Okay. Mutual funds, I think, right now are the way to go. Mutual funds. Okay, so I already gave a description of what mutual funds are. If you want to hear it again, I'll tell you. Expenses and ratios. Expenses and ratios reflect how the mutual fund or the EFT pays the portfolio management, administration, and marketing and distribution, among other expenses. Yeah, because you have expenses that come out of your mutual fund. You'll almost always see the expressed as a percentage of the fund. Yeah, which means 1.8% on any dividend that you get. This is what the company is getting off top of your dividends. So it doesn't matter how much you make, they're still going to get 1.8%. So if you made $1 million, they're going to get 1.8, percent of your $1 million. All right, which is 180,000. So they're making money. All right. JP Morgan Wealth Management, speak with an advisor. I say that make the call. Call an advisor, even if you're flat broke. Just call an advisor and get some know-how on a mutual fund, because you might not be flat broke tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you might not be flat broke by the end of the day. You be flat broke right now, and then somebody come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, I see you got your wheels up and going. Can you give me a ride to work and then a ride home?" It'd be less expensive if you did it. Plus, I know you. Plus, I really don't want to ride with Uber. I don't know them, so I'll go ahead and pay you the $25 to take me to work and back. And next thing you know, you just got yourself $50. Well, that person's going to need a ride again to work and back. And if they're making enough to pay you like that, you just went into business. Just that simple. You just went into business. It's a good chance that person knows other people who might need a ride. You might end up picking up 4 or 5 people in your SUV or your little mama's van. Boom. If you're making $25 a head going one way and they work for Honda, well, Honda's an hour away from here. You just went into business. And it's lucrative. So there it is. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your car or your van tuned up. Keep your license right. Boom, you just went into business. Let's go. Okay, so let's see. Mutual fund investment strategies that allow you to pull money from. Okay, well, I'm going to look up the best mutual fund. Or I'm going to look up aggressive mutual fund. I'm not even going to look up the S&P, just aggressive, because USAA. USAA has an aggressive mutual fund. Something's in my eye. All right, so let's check USAA. USAA Growth Capital Group Fund, our mutual fund, equity fund results, international investment. It's another thing, you can invest internationally. So if you guys know if you know where there's some places they're doing some building up, and there's some small companies that have just gone onto the stock market, and you think that those companies are going to do good in Europe or Africa. That's okay. So let's take Africa. Africa is doing a lot of building up, and I mean the continent of Africa. And this is because the Chinese have entered into what the Chinese are is they're land profiteers. They own a lot of land. They own Australia. They own America. They own parts of Africa. And what they do is they come in and they help you stabilize your country in some shape, form, or fashion. But trade-off is they get access to the people that are there, and they're racist. A lot of them are racist, but they build superstructures. So they build your water, you get your water supplies going. They get your a train station going. They get there's just a lot of work, but they're treating the people in Africa very, very bad. You know what I'm saying? The men are doing what they want with the children, and the people are actually hitting the workers. They're just treating them like really bad because they know that Africa is a war torn and ravaged place in a lot of these countries, and they need a superstructure. They don't have a water filtering system and things along that line. It's just bad in some of these countries. So they come in and they save you, but nonetheless, it costs you a lot. And they take a lot of your land and treat you like crap. So there that is. But if there is a budding company that starts off in Africa or in some country in Africa, and there are a lot of countries in Africa that are doing well, then you say, hey, I want to be a part of this company that just hit the stock market. And you go ahead and you find out what their ticker number is, and you throw that into a mutual fund. And you just say, hey, I'm just going to throw this. These guys are over there building cars, and this is actually true. There is a group of guys who are over there building cars. One woman is actually building wooden bikes. Uh, there are a lot of creative people in Africa who are, trying to get their own industry, but there's already a lot of industry in Africa. So there's a lot of potential in Africa. So if you want to look at those places and see what's going on there and find new companies that are in Africa, find out if those companies have gone public yet. Because if they did go public, you are allowed to buy shares from them. In other words, you can invest in that company and help that company along while sitting in the comfort of your own home. And if that company gets backing and starts to grow, then you're growing with that company, and everybody get money. That's what it's all about. So, you know, the international mutual funds are definitely something to look at. Don't be stuck in Just thinking, I'm only going to look at mutual funds here in America. You're losing. Once again, you're losing money. And the whole idea of talking about this stuff is because uh, I don't want to lose any more money. You know what I'm saying? I can have, when I saw my bank statement and I saw where the disappointment came in is they gave me a statement of what I made in a year, and they told me what my average was. They said, your average for the year is this much money. This is what I made off of it. And when I saw what I made off of it in a savings account, I said, I have to change this. Because if this is my average, this means that I'm not really touching this money. It's not fluctuating up and down. This is my average. I'm not really touching this money. So I can at least take half of this money and throw it into something to where I'm going to make a couple $100 a year. So that is where my frustration and where these videos start coming into play. And I encourage everyone to do the same thing. Yeah, I encourage everyone to do the same thing. Call a banker. Call a banker flat broke. Tell them you're flat broke. I'm flat broke. So I called my bank, and I got different branches of the bank that handle different things. And one guy was like, well, we only talk to people or deal with people who have made $250,000 or more. And I was like, no, I'm nowhere near that. And they were like, yeah, well, you need to talk to the mutual fund guy. I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But I can't say I wasn't disappointed when he said that. I can't have a conversation with you. That motivated me. I was like, wait, what? I only have 250,000, so I can't. Me and you can't talk shop, buddy, because I don't make. Like, no, you don't have $250,000. You should have said yet, because now I'm gonna get me $250,000. Okay, and that's it, and that's all. And I'm trying to figure out ways to do it, and have that 250,000 make me another 250,000, and keep rolling that right on over. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't have an ambition to be a millionaire. I just have an ambition to have more of a curiosity when it comes to money. Like, I don't want to be broke, but I want to. I want to see what I can do with money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what if I had $100,000? Now, I've often thought this. If I had $100,000, what would I do? If you had a, oh, somebody is writing a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm a scam. How am I scamming? How am I scamming? Educate me. Educate me on how I'm scamming anyone, please. You do drugs. Pray for you. I do drugs. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. This guy's a scam. Well, I am gonna pray for you because you got some grammar issues, and SKAM. Yeah, you got some issues, buddy. But okay, so I was thinking, what if I made $100,000? What would I do with it? Well, the answer is I would buy a condo, and I would build some equity somewhere. You know, that's what I would do with it. I'd buy a condo in a warmer place, and that's where I would live for the rest of my life. So I did buy a condo. You know, pay the ridiculous condo fees and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's what I did. What else would I do? I'd probably travel somewhere. Let's see, is this guy back? I'd probably go somewhere. You know, $100,000. I'm going somewhere. All right, so mutual funds. I think I was looking up best mutual funds. So this is a mutual fund professional. Our quality and fixed income funds are designed with long-term focus. So if it's a long-term focus, that means you're going to put money into it for more than 1 year. All right. Aero Pacific Growth, the New Economy Fund. Okay, so growth and income equality. Let's see. This guy actually gave me a company to look up, and he was talking about a tech stock. I should call that guy now. But I didn't get my stimulus check yet, so I want to talk when I get my stimulus check. Okay, the company is called Franklinton, so let's look up Franklinton. Capital Group. Let's look up Franklinton. I should ask Siri to do it just to be fancy, but see if you guys are saying anything else. Nope. Franklinton Templeton. Mutual funds. EFT. All right. Anatomy of recession. All right. Franklinton Templeton. These guys are front loaded, which means they charge you to manage your fund, your mutual fund. But they have a mutual fund with biotech. And yeah, I'm interested in that. And then there's Vanguard Mutual Fund. Vanguard Mutual Fund is not front loaded, which means they don't charge you for the mutual fund. So there's that. It's called a no load. They're a no load fund. But I don't know how much percent they take off of your dividend. So Franklinton takes 1.8, but Vanguard may take 2%. You know what I'm saying? They may take 2% off of what you make, which is your dividend. And that's not going to be cool. So I wonder if I can call and do this at the same time. Probably not. Okay, individual investors, financial professionals, institutional investors. Look at individual investors. Let's see what I come out with. Tax Warren, Franklin and Temple, Gallup Economy Recovery Survey. Use a quick thought. Miners can offer you more structure. Women entrepreneurs and the benefits of equal access to capital. Well, most people who are working are women. Most people who got laid off because of COVID were women. So, yeah, Franklinton launches our investment institute. I wanted to know about mutual funds, guys. Okay, so I thought I was going to come here and get a basic net access. Okay, Franklinton, California. Their tax income. Okay, so they're showing your taxes. Franklinton, taxes. Franklinton. Oh, their growth fund. Net access of $20,000. No, that's not 20. That's 20 million. Wow. Franklinton Income Fund, 68. Oh, wow. Jeez. These guys are not small. 68 million. All right, you guys are gone, so I'll talk to you guys later. And I'm going to call one of these guys. Yeah.